Node, and welcome to another episode of Graph Builders Office Hours. Today, we've got Rami from Metis. And for those of you who don't know Metis, we had them on last week, and I was talking with them, and we're going to have them on again here, and I'm working with them next week. So, Metis and Marcus are a good combination the last few weeks. And here today, I'm really happy that we have Rami on right now. So, Rami, if you could go ahead and just introduce yourself, give us a little bit about your background, and welcome to Graph Builders Office Hours, man. How you doing?
All good, man. Thank you for hosting this. Really glad to be here. And finally, we have the graph on Metis blockchain. It's been a long time. I think like most of the dApps were some of them hosting their own node, some of them doing this, doing that. So it was like a not a very good developer experience from my side since like I work on the developer experience and having the graph right now is like a big boost in the developer experience on the X system. So my name is Rami. I started working with Metis about 2 years ago on the developer relations side. Before that, I was a software engineer, a blockchain software engineer. Um, and the reason why I switched to developer relations is because I'm obsessed about hackathons, about teaching developers new things. Um, I love participating in hackathons and also hosting them at the same time. So this is my passion, and here we are.
Yeah.
And with Metis, we started off as an optimistic rollup on the Ethereum ecosystem. So we are an L2 on Ethereum, but not for too long. Pretty soon, we're going to be an L2 ecosystem on Ethereum where we would have multiple chains launching using the same Metis SDK, which I'm going to share more about in a bit. But yeah, we're gonna be like an L2 ecosystem uh, on Ethereum that each chain would have multiple chains. Each chain would have like its own quirks. Some chains will be like highly decentralized. Some chains will be highly efficient, very fast. Some chains are going to be focused on a specific purpose, like AI and stuff. And so yeah, this is what we're doing right now, and we are launching a lot of cool things pretty soon. So stay tuned. I will
Awesome.
share
Awesome.
my
Well,
presentation just real quick.
let's hold up real quick. I'm
Yeah,
gonna let people filter in. Of
sure.
course, this being a live stream, of course, there's always, not I wouldn't say always. There's we had a little bit difficulty loading up the live stream. The sound is a little low. Is that a little better? I'm seeing chat right now. Lewis, how we doing there? Is that better? I'm gonna open up the sound. How we feeling? Is that better? Or is that clipping? I think I'm clipping right there. That's a bit. How we feeling? Check, check, one, two, check, check. That's always the game. Let's see how we doing here. Yes. I'm getting real time feedback from the audience. That's the way to do it.
All right, cool.
Okay.
How do I sound?
You sound plenty loud, audience. How we doing with that? Goes up and down. All right.
Okay.
We're just gonna let this flow right here. If there's any other critique, please let us know. I'll just talk louder into the microphone. Pushed all posts to the max. Yes, thank you, Jana. How you doing? How you doing? I got Hastel, Dan, Jonathan, Sean. How you doing, Janksy? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully the audio is good enough. I'm basically yelling into the microphone. We will see how this goes today. So yeah, and of course, as we open up this live stream, there was a few bugs in getting it started. So hopefully, viewers, if you caught that, Rami has been working with Metis for a bit and has transitioned over to DevRel. And I feel like no one sets out to become a DevRel. Like DevRel finds people. That's it's, it. No one wakes up as a kid and says, "I want to be DevRel someday." I heard about the job was
Yeah.
that when I was like years ago, and I was like, "That sounds made up. That does not sound like a real job at all." But no, it's a real job. I'm tired. I'm tired a lot. I'm very tired all the
Yeah.
time. Well, anyways, Nice to have you on, Rami. Before we get into your workshop, I just want to share a quick announcement for all of the people out there in the Graph ecosystem. If you are streaming on the Graph Devs, hello, I'm Marcus, DevRel at Edge Node, working on building the Graph. We have chat going on in Discord. So join the Graph Discord, hop in, and you're free to chat with us during the live stream. It's just easier to manage as opposed to like 10 different chat windows. We just go to Discord. So hop in there. And as far as some technical stuff that has recently come out, we have Token API that was launched a few weeks ago. So if you're looking for wallet data, token data, and you really want to have that done fast without having to spin up a subgraph, you can do that. So I'd look into Token API with the graph. You're able to get really rich data sets in a very short amount of time. And we're finding that users are quite happy with that. So feel free to give Token API a try. And that is it for announcements. Now, let's shift it back. Rami, I feel like we have the audience here. We have people on GraphDev streaming. Go ahead, take it away. I'll stay on stage. I'll just mute my microphone and jump in with any thoughts, if that's okay, during your presentation, because I'm curious what you've been doing with Metis and how it's going and what the plans are for the future.
Sure. So, yeah. Hi, everyone who just probably joined. As I said, I am doing developer relations at Metis, and just like Marcus said, yeah, developer relations is not a real job. It is a made-up job, but it is a very cool thing. Like it's an excuse for like companies to have you do everything, coding, hackathons, documentation, just everything. Yeah, it's an everything task.
Yes,
So
business, documentation, marketing, video
marketing, yeah.
production, audio production, travel, hackathons. What else? I mean, I'm sure I'm missing a few.
I mean, engineering
Support
sometimes.
engineering. Yeah, jumping into support.
Yeah.
We're having lots of hats. I've worn so many hats that my hair is now falling off. So that's the stress of the job, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Not yes, hackathon judge. That's right. That's right. I'm seeing chat hop in. Yes, I've been hackathon judge more times than I can count. So yeah, I feel well versed in my little nook, and it's always good to meet another DevRel because honestly, nice. Yana's good gif in the chat there. I feel like my little nook is very specific to, of course, the graph ecosystem, which of course it would be. And it feels interesting just to chat with another DevRel, even for 30 minutes, just to be like, what are you seeing? Because there's only so much I can see from my point of view. So yeah, Rami, maybe we could chat about that after you have finished up your workshop and presentation, because I'm
Sure.
curious what you're seeing from the DevRel side from your point of view.
Sure. There's a lot to talk about here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure,
I don't get
for
to
sure.
talk to many DevRels ever.
We don't,
So
we
yeah,
don't,
let's
we don't. Yeah,
let's take it away.
yeah, go for it.
Uh, do you see my screen?
Yep, easy.
All right, cool. Let us present this. How to present it? I lost it. Yeah, here. Okay. Do you see the slideshow full screen, or how does it look like?
Yeah, full screen.
All right, cool. So we are at Metis. If you missed this before, at Metis we are building an L2 ecosystem on Ethereum that is highly scalable, decentralized, built on the Metis SDK, which is the chain launch kit that we are currently working on, and it's going to be open source. It is actually currently open source, but we're still like launching some chains from it as proof of concept. As you might already know, we had a chain, or we still have a chain called Andromeda, Metis Andromeda, and it is our DeFi focused chain. It is our decentralized chain. It has been live for around 3.5 years now. And we are like on the Andromeda chain, we are focusing on decentralization. And pretty soon, like in this workshop, we're going to be deploying a subgraph on the Andromeda chain, since the other chains are still not live yet. But I'm going to give some alpha here about the other chains that we're going to be launching soon. So, like I said, the Metis SDK is the launch kit for chains using the Metis stack. So if you want to launch a chain, you can launch it on the Metis ecosystem. That would be the benefits here would be you'd be able to choose between having a decentralized sequencer or having a single sequencer. You'll be able to choose between different DAs, customize the chain as much as you want. You will have a like a seamless interoperability experience for the users between the Metis ecosystem. So yeah, a lot of cool things using the Metis SDK. Um, some of the chains that we're going to be launching soon, we're going to be focusing more on the AI side. A chain that we're going to be launching soon is Hyperion, which has since yesterday the test net has been live. It is like still a closed test net, but anyone in the Metis ecosystem can participate. We welcome everyone to participate. Pretty soon, we're gonna have like some very cool activities for the Hyperion chain for the Hyperion launch. It's gonna include a hackathon, a community campaign that is like really entertaining, and the hackathon is gonna be starting with an ideathon first, where like participants can come up with ideas. We would help them with the ideas as well, and our community would also like help them with the ideation. And then after ideation, they would go ahead with the development. Some developers will probably have their dApps ready and deployed. So these developers can also sit for the activities that we're going to be doing in the development phase, which are going to be things like um, highlighting campaigns where we would jump on calls with the developers, just like this office hours, and solve some problems with them and discuss their proposals, discuss their dApps. And then later there's going to be the community campaign, which is going to run over the hackathon, where users are going to come and play with the dApps, get some cool stuff, cool points, things like this. And then the end of the hackathon is going to be. Uh, Solid details are still not announced yet, but to be announced very soon. So this is like for the ones who are watching us right now, this is some alpha that
Love
hasn't been
alpha.
live yet. Yeah,
Love the
yeah,
alpha.
yeah.
Love the alpha. Can't hate on alpha ever.
All right, cool. For Hyperion, the main focus, why are we launching a new chain in the first place, is because Andromeda is so we like I said, the focus for Andromeda is decentralization. It has a decentralized sequencer network. Um, so for decentralized sequencer network, there's some latency. Like this is the price of decentralization. There must be some latency. It is a little bit more expensive to run. So sometimes, like if let's say a game that needs real-time execution came to deploy on Andromeda, it would be a little bit expensive and it would be like a little bit slow for a game. So we had to expand, but without also sacrificing the decentralization. And here comes Hyperion, which is going to be the real-time execution chain. It's going to be based on a parallel framework where we would have like multiple EVMs, and it will be like powered by AI, and there will be like prediction for each. So Alice and Bob, they send a transaction at the same time, and there will be prediction on the sequencer level if the Alice and Bob uh, transactions are going to be accessing the same state storage. If not, they can be executed in parallel at the same time without having to wait in queue. So if if the two transactions don't depend on each other, they will be executed in parallel. Otherwise, they would be like optimized in a way that probably based on the timestamp, depending on the use case, of course. And also, there's going to be AI features from within the chains, from within the Hyperion chain, where you'll be able to call the AI, like prompt the AI. You will be able to create AI agents using smart contracts. So this is something that I'm really looking forward to trying out with the community, of course. So this is something that is really interesting, and it's it's still gonna have a very seamless experience with Andromeda. So um, like the DeFi, the money can still be on Andromeda. Most of the liquidity can still be on Andromeda. The operations that require a lot of security, a lot of decentralization, the trustless operations can be on Andromeda. But like if you're launching a game, an AI agent, something that requires real time, you can be on Hyperion. But at the same time, the chains are going to be aware of each other, are going to be very well connected with each other. Like I said, seamless connection. Another chain we're going to be deploying is, so yeah, this is what I talked about here: fast transactions, seamless interoperability, and AI native smart contracts. And this is going to be composable within the ecosystem. Another chain we're going to be deploying is going to be the Laz AI. This is going to be based on the Metis SDK. And it is going to be focusing on the data anchoring. Say you are like a developer of an AI agent. So you train the AI agent on some data, and the Laz AI chain allows you to tokenize this data set that you trained the AI on, in order to like sell the data set and allow other developers to train on the same data set. So yeah, pretty cool stuff with Laz AI as well. And with Labs AI comes Aleph also, which is our AI agent framework. And Hyperion is actually going to be natively supporting Aleph, where you will be able to create an Aleph agent on the smart contract level. So yeah, this is pretty cool stuff. And about the current state of Metis, we are currently in Optimium by the ranking of L2 beat, but pretty soon, I think like in about a week or two, we're gonna have the fraud proof and the DA upgrade, which is gonna take us to a roll up. First a stage 0, and then with some tackling of I think the proposer failure and the sequencer failure, we can turn into a stage 1 rollup, which is like pretty big right now. Not many rollups are stage 1 already. So yeah, this is what's exciting. This is what's really coming soon. And I would love to hear if there are any questions.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So far, there is a question. How's my audio right now? I'm trying to play around with it a little bit. Is that still low?
I can hear you well. I don't know about
The
the
audience?
listeners.
Let's
Yeah.
let's test. Maybe I'm clipping right now. I'm like pushing as much as I can. I'm still trying to figure out my audio interface. But anyways, hopefully this is okay. The perfecto. I see her, Yana. Awesome, perfecto. We'll go with that. Okay, so the questions. We have so far two questions. The chat's dropped in, and this is also maybe for. I have a question too to throw in there where how would you call a chain launched on Metis being an L2? Would it be an L3 subchain? Are you coming up with a special name? How does that going to work out if with Metis?
S- So here's the trick. Metis is gonna turn from an L2 to an ecosystem. Metis isn't the name of the chain; it is the name of the ecosystem itself. So think of it just like the if you know the super chain, the OP super chain, which is like an ecosystem of chains, and maybe the Arbitrum Orbit, which is also an ecosystem of chains. Some of them are L3, some of them are L2s as well.
Mm-hmm.
So like the chains that are going to be launched using the Metis SDK can be L3 and can be L2. But the chains that are in questions that I just talked about, Hyperion and Laz AI, are going to be L2s.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay,
yeah, it is going to be like parallel to Andromeda. And Andromeda
got
is
it,
the old OG chain that we all know and love, that we're going to be talking about also
got
later
it,
in this live stream.
got it. Okay, good. And that makes sense. The any data on your chain launch SDK, like how many chains we launched today, maybe a sandbox, a roadmap.
So currently, like two developer teams are working on two different chains, two new chains, and there's the existing one that we have already. So like some data on the new on one of the chains, which is I'm working very closely with the Hyperion side. The transactions we're aiming for below or like sub 50 milliseconds per transaction, which is like quite big.
Hmm.
I think it's still like what we're currently seeing right now is around 100 milliseconds. Maybe some chains reach like 75, 60. But yeah, we're trying to like really bridge the gap here
Hmm.
and reach to the much faster levels. And the chain should be doing around 1.2 billion gas per second. So this, like, if you count it in simple transaction terms, it's going to be around like 50K, 20 to 50K transactions per second. So this is
Okay.
like a huge TPS.
I was about to say here.
Um,
There's been in the last 6 months more just crazy fast chains that I've just become aware of just in the last 6 months than I have in my entire
yeah.
time in crypto. Yeah, that is. It feels like that's where the industry is heading, at least just from a distant perspective. I'm not in the chains themselves. I'm just observing, the market, and it's a common push we're seeing.
Yeah. It is very common because, like, so if you've been hearing about the FUD about Ethereum, like, oh, Ethereum is too slow, like
I've been
it
hearing
cannot
it for
compete with
years.
other
Not,
chains that
not,
are
not.
like meme
It's the
chains.
it's the same
Yeah,
FUD. It's the same FUD. Same FUD
it
always.
is. But like, so like, this is something that I really like want to discuss with you also, like, pick your brain a little bit
Sure.
about Ethereum. Like, currently there is this FUD that Ethereum is like a very slow chain, cannot scale very good. But like when we're seeing more and more chains deploying at a very high speed, achieving like uh, over 10K in TPS, I think this is like the driver for the adoption that will come later.
It does unlock new use cases. Essentially, I'm looking at TPS as actions, just user actions, user calls, being able to interact with the chain for 0.0000001 cent, and you could build games around that. You could build a lot of different mechanisms around that, essentially having much, much more throughput. I will be an Ethereum security maxi in that I don't necessarily have strong considerations for Ethereum speed beyond security. I want security, 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 security for Ethereum, and that's L2's, L3's, L4's job to accelerate and do those roll-ups and settle them in a secure layer. So if it's a bit slow, I'm fine with that for me personally, but of course I'm not in the chain space. If
Yeah,
Ethereum for whatever reason has its state in question, all of this is screwed.
yeah,
So I get the desire to go faster, but thinking in terms of decades, for Ethereum, I think is the right play. I think for chains such as yours and essentially looking at the inabilities of Ethereum is your play. That's the right thing to do. To be like, we can do things Ethereum can't do, and Ethereum can do things that you can't do. Like so, I feel like it's a fair place right
yeah.
now for Ethereum. And even now, they just released that new upgrade. What was it Petra? Pectra? Petra?
Extra. Yeah,
Pectra. That's it. And I haven't looked into that. So they're updating. They're going. I knowing how security works just in the past, from what I understand, slow is good. That's my opinion. That's my 2 cents. What's your take on that?
my take is, so right now, like, we are seeing, yeah, the very fast roll-ups, but it's still not it yet.
Hmm.
Slow is secure for sure, but only on Ethereum. But what if you can achieve secure and fast at the same time, right? Um, there is the triangle: cost, security, and time, right? You can achieve two of them. So why not achieve the three of them with roll-ups? Look, I think like this year we are seeing like a lot of chains that are building very fast TPS, but this is still
Sure.
not it. This doesn't solve the problem. Just like you said, like um the problem that is going to be tackled in the next few years that I see becoming a trend, maybe starting from like 2026, 2027, is the interoperability. Um, this is another problem.
So let's,
we need to tackle the
but,
speed first.
can we back up a little bit? So, like, speaking from
Sure.
your perspective for Metis, what, let's say hypothetically, we could snap our fingers and Ethereum's speed was increased dramatically and still secure.
Yeah.
What would that unlock for Metis?
That would unlock for Metis more. So I think like Metis is an ecosystem by itself right now. As much as like it is an Ethereum rollup, it is an ecosystem by itself, and it's like very siloed from Ethereum, just like other rollups right now. Um, Ethereum would not achieve by itself the 10K TPS. It needs the rollups to work with it, but like I was saying, how would it achieve this high TPS is by solving the composability issues with Ethereum. Because right now, like I said, Metis feels like an L1 to
Hmm.
compared to Ethereum, right? Because you need like a week to withdraw. The experience is not very seamless, and this is not just Metis. This is like any other L2 right now.
Hmm.
You need to you cannot just send a transaction on L2 and have it reflect on L1 immediately, just like that, or with like a one block delay.
Hmm.
Um, Once this is solved and Ethereum and L2s become one ecosystem truly,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna see the fruits of this very fast chains that are launching right now. But like
Hmm. And this is in
soon.
Ethereum's hands right now to essentially play more kindly with these L2s.
It is in both hands. I think like the ball is in both courts.
Okay.
Ethereum has did like a great job yesterday with the Spectre upgrade. So one of the EIPs that were accepted, I don't remember the number, but like I know the feature that is unlocking. Um, it increases the blob space from the blobs per block from three
Mm-hmm.
blobs to six blobs.
Okay.
So who
Nice.
uses blobs?
It's
L2s.
not. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, L2s use blobs. So now you allow for more scaling on Ethereum. You
Cool.
allow for more L2s to like use the blobs. You encourage them to use them. And so this is essentially Ethereum helping L2s to scale. Now L2s need to solve the problem of interoperability and need to make it faster to connect with them between them and Ethereum. So this is like what L2s should be doing in the next few years.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, the last I dug into the blob space and the blob concepts, the graph is able to tinker around with blobs as well, and we're able to get data. And it was, I think, about a year ago I was going in there, and I understood very much like, okay, like it feels like in let's just take this from the other direction. I understand, Rami, that you want maybe more blob space for chains. That would be nice. Why might you think Ethereum might want to do that slowly? Is that something of a why would Ethereum want to keep that slow in terms of their expansion? Instead of why go from 3 to 6, why not go from 3 to 128 or 256 or something like that?
Simply because there is still no need for it. Like
Mm,
it is costly to increase the space. Costly for validators and like
mm,
for the storage itself. Um, so if you don't need more than six per block, why would you increase it? So Ethereum, what it does is as need grows, it scales more.
hmm. Okay.
Sometimes
Okay.
with EIPs, sometimes like with features that it allows for L2s, sometimes it's with features that L2s implement. So yeah, like with growing need, the scalability increases.
Gotcha. So
Yeah.
you feel like in the next 2 to 3 years, this will go from 3 to 6 to you're going to see the number that you and Metis needs to really have a better settlement speed.
Currently, I don't think there is like a big gap
Hmm.
for scalability, but as soon as the need grows on L2s, as soon as the like more users come to L2s, more users start transacting on L2s,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the need will grow for more blob space. So I
Sure.
think like maybe
Sure.
in 3 years we'll be probably seeing, I don't know, about 15, maybe
Okay.
20, I
Let's
guess.
go.
Yeah.
That's you heard it here first, audience. We have a 3 year for sure premonition from Rami. He knows for sure we're gonna have 15 blobs. No,
I'm saying maybe. Yeah.
the yeah, I think that feels reasonable. I'm a big fan of Arbitrum. The graph shifted over to Arbitrum, and I personally got to experience. I was paying $20 in gas fees 5, 6 years ago. I remember that. I remember one transaction was 20 something dollars, and I was like, oh my gosh! And I'll never forget that. And now, with Arbitrum and even Ethereum right now, Ethereum cost for a transaction was under 5 cents. And I was like, hey, okay, so, they're getting better. The ecosystem is getting better. And so I'm a big fan of L2s. With that happening, with Ethereum becoming cheap, it's not 0.000 something cheap, but it's under 5 cents per transaction. Where do you think Ethereum's cost per transaction is going to go? Is it ever going to get to 0.000 something per cost? And then where do L2s fit in? Is it just a speed game for L2s? Is that pretty much where it becomes?
I think so right now, like the transaction calculation is still pretty much the same. There has been like some stagnant, like over the last few months, like when the market is not going boom boom, not many people are sending transactions, right? The
Hmm.
network is not very congested. I'm pretty sure right now, if we open the Ether scan, let me open it just real quick to
Sure.
check. I need to see how much the gas
Oh,
per transaction right now
I'm
is.
I'm seeing chat is saying $250 for one transaction. I think we have a winner in terms of, yeah, Yana 258. Yeah, so everyone
I
remembers that
once
pain.
I once deployed a contract for like $1,000
That's
on Ethereum.
the most secure transaction that you've ever made. That's a good
Yeah,
investment, my friend. That you
yeah.
will
I was really a beginner back then,
sure,
and I just like it was a contract that I was deploying for fun. I was like just building
sure,
something for fun, and
sure.
yeah, I just like deployed it on Ethereum. I thought
Yeah,
like this is a product that is really gonna work out and so on. And
yeah.
then I realized later that I have a bug and I had to redeploy it later. But thank God later it was very
Oh.
cheap to redeploy.
Oh, a thousand
Yeah.
dollars. Yeah, Rami, I think you win for cost of a transaction.
Yeah.
I remember mine was like $28 or something like that, and I was like, this is not gonna scale. Um,
Yeah, so going back to the cost of transactions. So currently like according to EIP 1559, the cost of transactions depend on how full the blocks are.
hmm,
On Ethereum. So if the last, let's say, like 10 blocks are full, the transaction fees is gonna hike a little bit. Uh, if the blocks are somewhat empty, if like you're mining, I don't know, half of the block space, if you're not filling it, if you're not using up all the gas in the block
hmm,
space, then yeah, the transaction fee is gonna go lower. So it depends on the traffic on Ethereum.
hmm,
I think like right now there has been a crazy EIP that it hasn't been like really discussed much, but it was just like something that really got me thinking like what if Ethereum does this? There's an EIP to increase the block space, not the blob space, the block
hmm,
space
hmm.
from currently I think it's at around 1.5 million, something like this, to 1.2 billion
Ooh,
gas.
increase of 1,000. Okay,
Yeah,
wow,
and this would allow for like a very much higher TPS on Ethereum, so like around
sure,
10,000 TPS.
right.
But still, I don't think that this is like really feasible because it wouldn't be feasible for the validators to store this much. You have like what
Hmm,
I think we had 1 million validators. Let's say they decreased so much by like the Bectra upgrade, but I think we would still have like around 250 validators, 250K validators in next like after a year.
hmm,
If all of them uh, decrease their number of validators depending on like their stake amount. But still, this is like too much. It would cause a scalability issue, and that's why
Mm-hmm.
L2s are here. L2s are here to help you scale.
Mm-hmm.
Um I cannot see the transaction cost on Ethereum going down to like 0.0000001. And I wouldn't want to see it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Ethereum
Yeah.
should stay expensive
I,
to deal with.
yes, I remember hearing once, and this has stayed with me, essentially comparing Ethereum to when you make a large bank transfer and you have to have layers of security. Let's say you want to purchase, I don't know, a house or something like over, I don't know, something that's 210. I've never purchased anything $2 million, but I'd imagine it's not as easy as going to your checking account and sending a transaction with the account number, or it's not as easy as sending it with even just a crypto wallet. It needs to
Yeah,
be a little bit more expensive. It needs to have a little bit more security, and that's essentially what you're paying for bigger transactions. For the scalability, it totally makes sense to have an L2 that is very skilled at affordability, speed, and essentially being half or even quarter or even a tenth as cheap as Ethereum is. So
yeah,
as long as you're heading in that direction, L2s always make sense to me because I want the security of L1 and I want the ability to scale where eventually we can have many different parts of the internet that are essentially value optimized, where we have
yeah,
clicks and we have actual activity truly providing a way of value transactions. So a lot of these maybe open source projects in the future will actually have the developers who develop the open source projects actually get paid based on little clicks and thousandth of a penny, times 10 billion, whatever that might be. But yeah,
yeah.
that goes a lot of ways. I think the small transactions done very fast is a very very good option for scalability. Got a
One
question
thing I want to
here.
add though,
Oh yeah, sure, go for it.
just yeah, real quick before the question. One thing I want to add is I was saying like we wouldn't probably see very cheap transactions on Ethereum, but I
Mhm.
think that chain abstraction is gonna be really developed in the next 2, 3 years. There's gonna be a focus on chain abstraction. In a
Mm.
way, you don't think that your transaction that you're receiving on Arbitrum or Ethereum, it wouldn't be very different for you because like right now, if you had funds on Arbitrum, you would be able to send them to another address on Arbitrum very easily, right? You wouldn't
Yeah,
even think about it. Like it's not
correct.
biggie. But if you want to send them on Ethereum, if you want to do something with these funds on Ethereum, it is a little bit tricky. It is a
Yeah,
little bit hard. So
yeah,
chain abstraction solves this, and
it
you wouldn't
does.
need to you wouldn't need to like really make Ethereum cheaper anymore. You just need to work on this user experience, the chain abstraction, and
Yeah,
that's all. And this is gonna be the focus in the next 2 years, I think.
I hope so. I do know a few different teams that are working on chain abstraction. I know Unichain is doing that with Uniswap, where you just interact with their chain and you're able to go to all the different chains, and they've been pushing on this. Personally, we're still early. I mean, if I'm talking with people out there in the real world and I have to tell them which chain they're on, they're already tired of dealing with their bills. They're already tired of, oh, my son or my daughter wants to get a new toy for their birthday. They don't want to learn chains. They just want to learn, okay, where's my money going? And where's it, what do I have to interact with? And different wallets, different accounts, that's how I know we're still early. I do feel that chain abstraction is the next way forward, where we have certain chains that are experts at certain requirements for applications. I don't even like calling them dApps because it's almost like confusing people. Like, I'm sure I'm fine calling it dApps with developers, but if I'm talking with someone normal, it's just an application. You're just building an app and it happens to use crypto. And they don't need to know what chain it's on. They don't need to know anything about, they just need to know what problems it solves for them in their day to day and their life. So that's how I know we're still early. Chain abstraction isn't here. And once that comes in here, the devs, we can all talk about, which chain is best for which certain type of application or dApp at that point, and why Metis might be better than Arbitrum, and what your specialization would be as opposed to another chain. And that's I think we're coming in the next maybe 5 years. What do you think about that?
I think yeah, within the next 5 years, you're not gonna be able even thinking about which chain you're sending a transaction on. It's
For
gonna be
users,
very
no, yeah.
easy.
For
Yeah,
users, no.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
I don't want users to have to worry about that. They should just either hop in and do whatever the app wants them to do. If they're
yeah.
blocked by setting up a wallet and connecting an on-ramp, an off-ramp, and blah blah blah, like it needs to be Apple Pay, PayPal, call it a day. Like
This is
throw
this is actually the biggest blocker for onboarding. Like right now, if my Web2 friends ask me like, okay, so how can I buy Bitcoin and how should I store the Bitcoin? I'm
Yep,
actually like confused. I don't want to give them bad advice. And
yep.
still like
You know what I say? I
I
say
can barely
Coinbase.
hold.
I say Coinbase.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I just walk away because like in terms of doing what they want, that's it. And I know Binance does it very well too. I'm in the USA, so I can't use Binance. But with Coinbase, it just works. I know OKX just got approved in the USA. I haven't tried that one yet. But so yeah, there's a reason. I mean, I hold
yeah,
my coins on a custodial, self-custodial wallet because I know what I'm doing. But like 95% of people, I'm not gonna recommend that to. I'm just not.
mm.
Not until I know that they're a degen and I know they like to gamble maybe. And then from there I'm like, hey, come on in.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
still actually I don't even recommend my friends to exchanges. Like,
Yeah.
I'm afraid of like another FTX to happen, and I don't
Sure.
want to put my friends in trouble.
It's true. And I mean
Yeah,
I've haven't I'm getting to the point I feel probably in the next 5 to 10 years where I will eventually want to onboard my family and friends. It's still
yeah,
early. It's still early. It's
it
still
is.
early. It's still early. So
Yeah,
I know when I'm ready to talk to my dad or talk because I mean I know Bitcoin is doing great. Let's regardless of what the market is, it seems to be doing fine. Ethereum is now at 2,000 today. It's like it's a good reasonable thing to look at alongside other investments. But anyways, that's a whole nother topic.
yeah,
We got a question in chat here. Existential question. Crazy how now I would never do a transaction over 10 cents or even 5 cents at scale. Curious to know what you guys are thinking. Where do you guys think this is going? And even do gas less or near zero gas with account abstraction, you could essentially pay for other people's gas, which I really think is a great developer decision. Developers out there, pay for your users and their gas as if you're trying to get to non-degens, if you're trying to get to normies, don't have them be confused by gas. That's all I'll say. Anyways, what are your thoughts on that, Rami?
my thoughts are so uh, where this is going, there's a big improvement in user experience. It started yesterday just with the Pectra upgrade. Like
Mm.
the now you can do gasless transactions. Now you can sponsor transactions. Now you can pay with any token you want,
Hmm.
basically for transactions. So this is the big improvement. This is
Yeah.
like the biggest so far in Ethereum history.
Yep.
That's how I feel like. I feel like even this is comparable to the proof of stake upgrade. Um,
Actually, you have a good point. Yeah, you have a good
yeah,
point.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Because
I could
like
agree. Yeah.
the experience previously was if you want to swap some tokens, you need some ETH. That's the first step. So go get some ETH. You're probably gonna buy it from an exchange. You're gonna buy it from an on-ramp or from something like this. And then this is to pay. This is just to pay for gas. All
Yeah.
right.
It's awful.
Now, yeah. Now you wanna pay for like the approved transaction first. This is the
Yep.
first transaction you're gonna approve first, and then
Yeah.
you're gonna swap, and then the
Yep.
swap is gonna fail, and then
Yep.
like you're gonna do something all over again.
And then you approve the transaction. I remember the first time I saw approve the transaction token amount, and it was like 74 billion tokens or something like that. I'm like, I don't even have that. What are you trying to ask? Like
Yeah,
maximum tokens allotted? I have like
yeah,
$20 in here. What are you trying to do with me?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's
I
just
mean,
bad
to,
user experience. Yeah.
to answer the first half, or to comment on the first half, yeah, like you should never pay over 10 cents or 5 cents for a transaction unless you're like buying a house or doing something crazy,
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if blockchains allow you to not pay this much, do not pay this much. Do not pay
Yeah.
like we used to, like $100 per
Yeah.
transaction. If you're sending like a $200 transaction to
Yeah.
someone that you have to send on time, you just pay $100 in gas fees. Just don't do that.
Don't do it.
There are
Not
other
anymore.
chains. There are L2s which you pay like pennies per transaction.
Yeah.
This is the future.
Yep. It feels like this account abstraction, chain abstraction. Blockchain developers have proven their abilities. There's going to be a need for blockchain developers to do what they're doing. The diversification of the value propositions that each of these chains bring, including Metis, including all these other chains, and then have an abstraction layer on top of that, and then account abstraction. I feel like we're heading in the right direction. I feel like that's something I could get on board with. That feels better for user experience, and as DevRel, that really matters to me. I'm sure it matters to you. I want personally, this is the next level, and I've been bullish on this for years, and I'll keep on banging on this drum, is the identity layer. We're still, if we're doing account abstraction, you're going to be logging in with a chain or something like that, or logging in with MetaMask, or logging in with things that aren't necessarily meant to be used as identity, and they're just kind of, they
This
can be
I
used as identity. I don't like that at all. I feel like
I
there needs to
fight
be an
for
identity
this.
layer. Yeah, there needs to be an identity layer. I love the decentralized identifier kind of push. I've supported many of them in the past, and I'll support them going into the future. There needs to be a way to abstract my identity away from my money. Like, my
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
wallet
yeah.
is not me. And right at this point, even with account abstraction, my wallet is me. And that doesn't work all the time. There's just user experiences you cannot build that, because you have wallets as your main point of entry. Even with account abstraction, even if you're logging in with Google, once again, you're logging in with Google. That's not meant initially for identity. I can't portably take that around. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that day. We'll call that 7 years from now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
This is actually like what I fight for. This is what I'm here in the
yeah.
blockchain space for. Maybe
Yeah.
one day, like we'll be able to enter a country and sign a transaction instead of like having to deal with a visa officer.
Why should I have a visa officer look at my wallet? They should look at my
Yeah,
identity. It's a different part
yeah,
of who I am. So it's like, yeah, don't look at my transactions. Just look at my, I don't know, my height and my eye color or something like that. Like, that's more identity that
yeah.
they want to check on. So, anyways, got a question here. Do you ever get to talk to devs that are migrating, like going a full-on switch from a chain to another L2? What do they say? Or what do you hear about what they care about? That's a good question. Like, if you have a development team that's getting frustrated with a certain chain and they are hopping to another chain, what's that like?
I never seen that actually.
Okay.
I usually only see developers expanding to other chains.
Mm,
Sometimes the reason can be like a chain is a little bit slow, a chain is a little bit stagnant, the community is not moving so much,
mm,
or like not really participating so much. But other reasons are just developers want to expand, developers want to cover all of the chains, and this is like chain abstraction in the end. Like
yeah.
when a developer deploys on many chains, this developer participates in the chain abstraction
Hmm.
in the end, like in
Hmm.
about 2 to 3 years. For example, like the graph right now supports a lot of chains. One of them is Metis.
Hmm.
It doesn't mean that uh, Ethereum is not enough for the graph, or like Ethereum and some other chains are not enough for the graph. The idea here is to include as many chains as possible, because this is like, it's not like you're looking for new value only. You're
Hmm.
looking for new users. You're looking for I don't know, like new opportunities, new value. Yeah, like
Yeah.
one of the reasons is new value, but it's mostly about like new community, new developers, new builders, all that. Yeah.
Hmm. Yep.
Developers usually don't just like leave a chain and close the door.
Yeah.
They keep it open. They keep
That
the
makes
door open.
sense.
They
I
keep the
mean, the
bridges
code is
open.
still
Yeah.
there. The code is still there, so it's still operating. It
Yeah.
feels, and this is from, I've deployed a few, nothing into production. I'm not building blockchain apps into production, but I have built a good amount of applications that are just fun, and they're still there. They're on Ethereum. They're on a few different other chains, and it seems like just exposing yourself to more liquidity in different groups and different chains, that's just
Yeah.
only going to be a positive sum type of activity where you're getting more activity in different chains. We've only got about 8 more minutes, and Rami, I want to kind of bring it back to you and Metis, and if there's anything that
Yeah.
you
So
want to say to developers out there who are streaming in from Graph Devs.
yeah. There is one thing that like we got to talk and we probably forgot about a little bit. This is the something that like I just scrapped together. It might have some bugs.
Mm-hmm.
So bear with me. Let me just one
Says,
second.
I need to give you screen sharing permission.
Let
You
me
already
see.
you already
I
shared your
think I
screen.
can. I think I can share. Yeah, one
Yeah,
second.
you already did. Okay, we're good. Okay,
Okay, are we
perfect.
good?
Yep.
All
Yeah, I
right.
can see you. Perfect.
So this is for Metis developers and also for the Graph developers who are planning to build on Metis to like deploy a dApp or a contract. I just wrote this real quick. This is like a tutorial or a template that you can use for writing your own subgraph on the that works with the Metis contract. So the subgraph YAML file it supports the Metis network, and this actually like runs on an actual Metis contract, which is the Artemis contract for like the liquid Metis token. Um, and yeah, like here you can add the API, the contract API, and you'll probably add the API first here in the APIs folder. I think like a more in-depth tutorial would be on the graph documentation, but I tried to like make it as simple as possible for Metis developers. And at the same time, if you're a graph developer and you want to build on Metis, you want to build something or you want to like port a dApp onto Metis, we would very much welcome that. You can reach out to me directly, and I would like take your hand through the whole process, or you can also go to the documentation, docs.metis.io, to Andromeda or to Hyperion. Hyperion is currently it's not launched yet. It is like a testnet currently in testnet. There's going to be a hackathon pretty soon, so stay tuned to the Metis channels, the developers channels. And
Yeah,
at the
and
same time,
I
we have
actually
here,
just to tag on to that real quick, I got a question in the chat, and this is the same for me to you. Where can our dev community find your dev community? Is it Discord? Is it Telegram? What's the best way to say hi?
so we usually are more active on Telegram. We have a
Perfect.
Discord, but it's
Okay.
mostly like community talking to each other. The developers, the actual developers and the builders, we have them in one Telegram group chat,
Okay.
and also on Twitter.
Okay.
We have a Twitter account, so this is like this can be your entry point into Metis, our Metis developers account.
Is it
I
Metis
don't know if it's
L2?
visible here.
Is it Metis L2?
Metis L2 is the main account.
Okay. And what's the dev one?
Metis developers.
Metis developers. All right, let me look for it. Developers.
One second, I can
Metis
send
underscore
it real
dev.
quick.
Is it
I
Metis
need to make
underscore dev?
sure. I need to make sure.
Sure, yes. Make sure
Yeah.
it's the right one. Yeah, you can send it to
Yeah.
me in the Telegram DM, and I'll share it with the
Sure.
channel. And also, if there's a hackathon coming up soon, let me know. I'm happy to help out. We've got a few different products for sure that can help out.
So I'm sending it on the stage.
Oh,
Our
perfect. Okay,
links.
perfect.
Oh, I couldn't send it. Okay, I'll send it to you then,
Yeah,
because it has a link. Yeah.
perfect.
Here's the Twitter account, and here is.
Let's see. You're sending it to me
The
in my
Telegram.
Telegram DMs. Okay, my Telegram DMs or
in
in
the
the group.
graph,
Okay, perfect.
yeah, in our
Got
group
it. Perfect.
chat.
I see it. Got it. All right, copy pasting now. All right. Sending now to the chat. Okay. Chat, there you go. You have Metis Devs and Metis Dev in Telegram. Hop in, say hi, and go from there. Well, Rami, it's been awesome to have you. I feel like, I mean, this office hours we've got chains, we've got dApps, we got DevRels, we got builders who are Anon. We've got everyone coming through, and to have another DevRel on, I always feel is refreshing. Myself personally, I'm biased, of course.
Yeah.
DevRel. I feel like I need to start up a podcast called the DevRel Cabal, or just like the secret,
Count me in.
the shadowy DevRel group chat. I don't know, but
Yeah, yeah,
it would
yeah.
be nice if it was a DevRel kind of get together. Well, I just want to thank you for your time and the effort that you're putting into Metis, and for the graph to be integrated with you guys. I'm really happy. I've already done a live stream with you guys last week. I'm doing another one this upcoming week. So for those of you watching, feel free to hop into that live stream. And with that all being said, Rami, you've got the last word, and you'll be talking to Graph Devs viewers. Anything you want to say?
Really appreciate this opportunity. This is for you, Marcus. And for the Graph community, thank you so much for listening. And I really look forward to supporting the Graph community, deploying subgraphs on Metis.
Awesome. Awesome, man. Well, remember, just go ahead and stay on here. I'm going to close the stream, but for all of you out there, thank you for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of the week, and I'll see you next week for another episode of Graph Builders Office Hours. Take care, everyone. All right.